Hey guys, Dr. Ben here, Functional Medicine Centers. Let's talk today about digestion. Let's talk about your gut, your insides, your absorption and gas and bloating and all these yucky things that can be happening and things that you can do today, tips that you can do today to help your digestion, because so many people are confused. They're taking Tums, they're watching commercials talking about antacids, all of these different things, and yet digestion should be a beautiful, wonderful thing. So thanks for jumping on. Thanks for everybody that posted some comments on what you would like to see in live videos. Love seeing all that. And digestion was a lot of them. There was a lot of people asking about digestion issues and solutions for digestion problems. So here we go. We're going to jump into this. Pop down below where you guys are watching from. Love it. All over the country, all over the world. We're changing lives every single day, and it's great. And thanks for you guys as well. I love seeing so many of you out there that jump on and comment if somebody's got a question. One, saves me time from having to go in and go line by line and answer everybody's comment, but thank you guys for jumping on and telling them the blood sugar range, telling them what they need to be doing, what NAC stands for, all these different things. Thank you guys, because this is a community of people that are getting better, getting healthier, and taking massive action with their life and their immune system. So great to see everyone, and here we go. So digestion. I like to think about perfect digestion first, and then if you don't, then what's going on? So here's what you should have as far as digestion. Here's where we go. You get hungry, you eat, okay, and then you get hungry, and then you eat, and then you have to go to the bathroom, and you feel that sensation, and then you go, and it's a nice large, I think about how many of you looked at a 3-year-old's bowel movement and you were like, holy cow, how is that so big? It's like as big as your leg coming out there, and then you look at yours and it's these little pellets or this little teeny tiny thing. And not the most fun thing to talk about, but we've got to talk about this because digestion is so important. And Jennifer, good to see you trying to get healthy there in New Mexico. Keep it up. So here's what we're looking at is digestion should be, you get hungry and you eat, you have to go to the bathroom and you go to the bathroom. Besides that, you don't think about it. Just like walking around, you shouldn't feel your elbow, you shouldn't feel your shoulder, your hip. Everything in my body feels pretty darn good. I've got a little elbow that's been tweaked for a while here, and so when I do this, I do feel it a little bit, and that's not how it's supposed to be. But every other joint in the body feels good. I don't even notice it, and that's what digestion should feel like. So your digestion should just be there. It should just do it. It should just break it down, and it should go on and go for that next meal, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that is proper digestion. So if it's not doing that, if you have gas, bloating, indigestion, heartburn, reflux, if you're distension, meaning you're coming out looking like you're pregnant. Any of you women out there, anybody ask you lately, give me a thumbs up if you've been pregnant. I hope not. But if it feels like it sometimes where you're like, holy cow, this is out so far, I feel like I'm 5 months pregnant. What is going on inside of me? Well, let's get into it. We're going to give you some tips today that you can do to really start changing your digestion. Here we go. So one of the first things that I love talking to patients about and working with is what is called proper food combining. So proper food combining, and give me a thumbs up if anyone has heard of proper food combining or if you've tried it yourself. But proper food combining is where you keep certain foods separate from each other and eat certain foods together. So that's going to be, the biggest one is you keep proteins and carbohydrates separate. And that, look at all the traditional American fare. We have hamburger on a bun, turkey sandwich, waffles and bacon and eggs. We've got chicken and rice. We've got Chinese meals, all these different things. And we combine rice and certain proteins. We combine breads and certain proteins, all these things. But guess what? Neither one digests very well when you combine them together. They digest at different pH levels. So proteins are more acidic. The carbs are going to be more alkaline digestion needing. So here's the problem. You put them together and they're going to sit there longer. They're going to start to brew and ferment and start pushing up on the going to change and do this proper food combining, because the food cannot sit in your stomach very long. The longer it sits there, the more irritation it gets and pushes up onto that sphincter. You start getting reflux, you start getting gas, bloating, indigestion, fermentation. There's a thing called auto-intoxication. And this auto-intoxication is when people, they're brewing so much in their digestive tract that they can actually get drunk. Give me a thumbs up if anyone's heard of that before. But this is a major, major thing where people actually start to ferment so much. And if you've got gas or bloating or distension, you have this dysbiosis. Your gut bacteria is not right, and you're feeding the yeast, and it is brewing inside of you. If you've ever brewed beer, it's got this little air release valve so that it can let go of those gases. And if not, you'd actually blow up this big glass carboy. So here's what you got to do. You got to keep your proteins and your carbs separate. Write this down: proteins and carbs separate, and then at separate meals. So you would do like protein, carbs, veggies, some of those things, and then you keep fruit by itself. Fruit should clear out of the digestive tract within 15 minutes, 20 minutes at the most. But if you eat a hamburger on a bun and then you have an apple with it, it's going to sit there for a whole lot longer. So you've got to be able to clear that out as quickly as you can. So proteins and carbs separate, fruit by itself. Okay, that's number one. Number two, Linda, give an example of meals. So that would be protein, veggie, and fat. So that would be chicken and broccoli and avocado. That would be my lunch: cauliflower, rice, some leftover ground meat with tomato sauce on it, spaghetti sauce, and half an avocado in there. Things like that. The other side would be, okay, I'm going to do and I'm going to put some vegetables in there. So that would be it. And unfortunately, for most people, the carbs are going to make their blood sugar go up anyway, so we kind of take those out. Okay, fruit by itself. Next, number two, we're going to go into no fluids with your meals. So here's what you do. If you're drinking, you go to this all-you-can-eat place and they give you 4 glasses of iced tea. You're drinking iced tea and you're diluting your stomach acid. So our stomach acid is like 3 or so on the pH scale, where the water, iced tea, any of that is up at about 7. And for each one, 6, 5, 4, 3, it's 10 times more acidic each number you go down in that pH scale. So we're way, way more acidic in the stomach than water or iced tea or whatever. But if you're pouring ounces and ounces and ounces of that fluid into the stomach, you're diluting your stomach acid. You're not going to be able to digest as well as you should. Food's going to sit there too long. It's going to start pushing back up on the sphincter. It's not going to be breaking down very well by the time it goes into the small intestine, large intestine, and you're not going to be digesting very well. So a couple ounces, a sip here or there is going to be okay. If somebody's having some wine with their meal, 2 or 3 ounces of that. If somebody's having some water, don't fill up this huge glass of water and think that you have to drink it. People are like, "Ooh, I need more water." Well, you need more water, but not with your meal. Again, people ask how long, and a good 30 to 60 minutes. If you feel like once you drink that water, food just still kind of sits there, it was too close to that meal. So you've got to find that sweet spot in there. So if you do proper food combining and you don't drink with your meal, you're going to digest so much better. Number 3 that you need to do is eat in a relaxed environment. So many of us eating at our desk, eating on the go, eating in the car, run. Think about this. You can do one of 2 things. You can fight or flight, or you can rest and digest, but you cannot do them together. So what do you need to do? You need to totally shut it down, get out of that fight or flight, and go into that rest and digest. That's why saying a prayer before the meal, relaxation, as you're cooking, you're smelling the foods, doing all those things to get the digestive juices running there. You do not want to be in a fight or flight state, because you will not be digesting. Because here's what happened. If you're drinking 18 ounces of water with your meal, if you're eating some carb and some protein, and then you're eating in a fight or flight state, in a revved up state, not sitting down and resting and digesting, you are not going to digest your food very well. Do those 3 things today, change it, and you will start seeing massive change. You don't need to buy hundreds of dollars in enzymes and stomach acid support and all of these different so-called quick fixes for your digestion. What you need to do is focus on what you're putting in. Change your state, change your food, change your liquid intake, and your digestion is going to be massively different. So love having you guys on. And we will be watching this page even if you're watching it down the road. Love that. Love seeing everybody's comments and questions on there and helping each other out. And thanks for giving feedback on what other topics you want us to see. Make it a great day, everybody.